You are listening to Midlife with Courage. This is where women in midlife come for inspiration, motivation, and sometimes a little education to help them flourish after 40. Don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button. Now let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Midlife with Courage. I am Kim Benoit, your host, and I'm so happy to have you all here listening today. I'm also very happy to have my guest with me. Her name is Sarah Bechard. Welcome to the podcast, Sarah.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Yes, full disclosure to the listeners, we know each other and we've been collaborating and doing some fun things together. So I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you. Super excited too.
Yeah. So Sarah, you have a story of you started out, well, I shouldn't say started out, in a previous life, maybe we can say you were a speech therapist turned stay-at-home mom, and now you help other women as a personal stylist. And I can't wait to
Mhm.
talk about all that and some other things too. But why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us what else you want the listeners to know about you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Sarah, and I am married to my husband, Brian. I think it's been about 25 years. We have two adult sons. One was married last year. And so I have a new daughter in law, McKenna. She's beautiful. And I have a son who is in college right now. I should mention my older son is Eli. My younger son is Jonah. Jonah's in college at Stout. And that part about I was a speech therapist, wanted to be a stay at home mom, but always wanted to get back into the profession. And so it's kind of surprising how things change in terms of what you think you're going to be doing the rest of your life. But
Yes. Yes. Sometimes we have that path ahead of us that we think is one way and then nope, we're going
yep.
to go this way. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. How long were you a stay-at-home mom? I'm curious.
Oh, I think my kids were in middle school. That's when I went back into, testing the waters for speech therapy again. I would say
Okay.
that's about it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
A little more independent.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's always curious to me. Yeah. So why don't we just start out before we get fully into your story? I like to ask the guests to tell us about a time in their life when they felt courageous or they showed courage. And I don't
I
know if I
love
prepared
that.
for you, you for this ahead
No,
of time.
this because I know that is what you promote,
Yeah.
courage and boldness. I'm ready because I have one main story that you can learn about on my website too. But what had happened is when I was a young adult before I was even married is I was on an airplane taking literally our very first faraway family trip. It was just after my mom died, and we were landing the plane, and literally the plane did one of you can't see me doing this visual, but what would you call it?
Rock.
Cartwheeling nearly.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
it was terrifying. Anyway, got married, had my kids, got on a plane a couple of times. But whatever happened over those years when my kids were home, I became more and more afraid about getting on a plane. And so this might take a little bit of time to share this
That's
thing,
okay.
my
That's
my
okay.
fear, my courage thing. But basically, I was toying with the idea of going back to work once my kids were a little older, and I had done kind of the work I needed to do. I was exploring some different things about myself, which I encourage all of your midlifers, whoever's listening to this podcast, to do is just exploring who you are now
Mhm.
and kind of the things about you from back then and the things that you maybe want to do are curious about. So that's what I did. I started kind of exploring, you know, a little bit more about me, had taken an online class, which was because I was basically afraid to get on an airplane to be able to do more training to actually do this. This was after I discovered that I don't think speech therapy is for me anymore. I had changed so much while raising my children, I think
Mhm.
just change is a huge part of life. And so, I basically realized that I had to overcome this fear if I really wanted to pursue this dream that I felt God was calling me to go after.
Mm.
Which if well, for those of so people who know me back then, I was I'm a firstborn. I like to follow rules. I like organization. I like to, you know, all those things sort of a little on the type A side, which is fine. We're all different. But this was not my plan. Okay, I was just gonna go, do this, and this, and then this happened. And what I would also encourage listeners too is what I chose to do to overcome this fear was I actually talked to somebody who flies a plane.
Mm.
She gave me information to read about draft and lift specifically. I was reading my scriptures. I had people encouraging me. The lady actually, the airplane lady, the pilot, actually offered to take me up on a plane. I said, no, thank you. But all that to say, I had to really prepare myself to overcome this. And if it weren't flying an airplane, it would be something else. Like everybody has a fear for whatever reason,
Sure.
and maybe multiple fears. And I think courage, to sum it up, is we just have to continue to take those risks and watch us grow, not arrive, not be perfect, not, it's a process, right? So
Right, right.
anyway,
Oh, I
learning.
love that. So you had the one bad experience, and then did it take a while for that fear to kind of really settle? Is that what
It
happened?
was so bizarre. I can't
Yeah,
explain why. I
yeah.
will tell you, I have another sister who has not gotten, that I know of, on a plane since, still won't. Then I have another sister. She's traveled the world on her own. It's
Wow.
just, we're all so different. And I think
Mm.
different things impact us all differently.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that you prepared yourself and you learned more about everything. And it just reminds me, one of my daughters is super afraid to fly, and she one time had
Oh,
someone sitting next to her who knew what all the little noises were. And
yes,
he was explaining to her, "Oh, those are the wheels coming in," and that helped her so much. So now she knows what all those
totally.
noises are. Like,
Yes,
it's
I
not that the
totally agree.
yeah, so information is helpful.
Good for her. She got on the plane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, she does
Awesome.
now. She does it,
That's awesome.
you know, she does it.
Hmm.
She can do
Yeah,
it,
not
so
always fun.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but okay, so let's get back to you.
Sure.
Tell us about how you decided to go into helping women with fashion and style, and I know tell us why you wanted to do that. Let's start there.
If I were to be totally honest, this isn't something that I get to talk about. I'm hoping to in the future with some of the things I'm doing for my business. But my tagline is to basically encourage people to be confident and be themselves. I have struggled with confidence probably a good portion of my life, but I feel like I've gotten lots of freedom with that now. So for me, it was just struggles with my body. Literally, I would look back and think it's most of my life, and different versions of it. I call it decades of dimension. How my body has changed
I
over
love
so
that.
many.
Decades of
Yeah,
dimension.
yeah, because it's a time span, and it's
Yeah.
also various shapes of me, I guess, if you will,
Yeah.
and that might be somebody else's story too. But I remember as a little girl being what I would call like heavier, and I got teased. I would be wearing the husky jeans. I would cuff my pants. And then I got older and I lost weight. And so, I had the body I wanted to have in high school. I was athletic and I was thin and I was, active, but I was only eating like bread and butter. I hardly ate anything. And then
Oh,
you get to college and there were other issues with that and the way that, I dressed more, like my clothes sometimes were baggier, although that might have been the style back then.
yeah.
But other issues with eating. And then I mentioned my mom dying and stuff, but like I was down to a size 2 then, and that wasn't a healthy at all
Mhm.
weight, but it was my stress response. It was my way of controlling my world. And then as I've gotten older, and this is what I like to speak to women, especially in midlife. Well, yes, our bodies they are changing, but the thing is, I would say the main issue I hear women talk about is that midlife spread, the, belly bulge, the middle,
Yep.
the tire.
Yes, I do. I
And
know that very
so,
well.
yes, it's a natural part. Even my ladies who tend to gain weight and their hips, butt, and thighs are now getting a belly. And so this can hold people back. It did me, and sometimes can frustrate me as well still, but we can't live for the body we used to have, the one we liked, or the one we want to have, but we have to live for the body we have right now. And who has decided what is beautiful and what is not? Okay, it can be even what we think isn't always right. Even the good stuff, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. We're a masterpiece. God says we're beautiful. That's truth. And that's the thing for me is I want to help people learn about truth if they've never heard about it before, because it changed my life. And then it's not only like concentrating on the truth and pushing away those things that aren't true that have been either you've told yourself or other people have told you, but really believing it. And I'm still working on that. Really believe in the
Mm.
truth.
Yeah.
But the way that's so fun that I get to use style as a way into that, and it's a way to help people feel more confident in dressing ways that help them if they want to look taller, if they want to look leaner, if they want to look more vibrant. I can use color, I can use shape, I can use size to help women with that.
What I've noticed when you're talking to other women and telling us about what you do, you it's almost, I wanna say it's like body acceptance, but it seems like there's a little bit more to
Mm.
it. Do you feel that?
Ooh, I love hearing this. Okay. But let me think about this. So I try to teach people that we already are accepted. We already are secure and safe in our bodies, and we're already significant in
Mhm.
God's eyes. And so, yes, it's more than just accepting our body. There's just so many just different shapes. God's super creative and he made all different designs and everything's on purpose. And there's so many things our bodies do
Yeah.
and are capable of. And we focus on maybe being skinny or not trying to look too old or, I mean, we can work on those things, but we're
Mm,
supposed to age. It's a natural process.
yeah.
And so I do think we have to embrace that idea of growing older, you know, f- maybe focusing more on like the wisdom you've got and the things you have to share with others,
Mhm.
especially the younger generation, different pressures that they have. And
Mhm.
these things are temporary. Our bodies are temporary. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I love that too, you bring your faith into all of this. I mean, it's so obvious. I love it. And we could
I hope
talk
so.
about that. Where does that come from? How have you always been, I want to say faith-based, but
Gracefully.
that just doesn't seem like the right words.
Oh, you're intuitive. Yeah, okay. So, interestingly enough, it's so cool because I grew up in a dual faith household. So, I
Okay.
had parents who were different quote unquote religions that married
Uh-huh.
later in life, and they were kind of two different beliefs, if you will. And so, I grew up wondering which one of them is going to go to hell because of what like, believe it's about the
Yeah.
religion. So for me, it's about, our relationship with the Lord, our relationship with Jesus, and how he changes us and gives us our worth, gives us our value, gives us our esteem. So those are a lot of things I don't get to talk about, but faith is a huge component, but like just knowing our identity in Christ is so foundational. When someone shared that with me, it absolutely changed my world. And this
Yeah.
is what I like to tell people. So yeah, I think it's more than faith, but what I do is faith based, I guess.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Ladies, I am so excited about my new venture in this podcast. I'm calling it Midlife with Courage Unfiltered. You are going to get me, Kim Benoit, once or twice a month. I'm going to be getting real with you about the conversations that I have with my guests. And I'm going a little bit deeper. I'm going to bring my own personal experiences into it. I'm going to share what I've got going on in the hopes that you will share right back with me. This is not going to be me just talking in front of the microphone. I want your input, I want your participation. If you go to my show notes at the end of this episode, you'll see a support the show. That is where you can subscribe to Midlife with Courage Unfiltered. For only $5 a month, you're going to get this extra bonus content once, twice a month, and we're going to talk about what's really happening in midlife. I'm going to share my experiences. I'm going to get real. I'll probably get a little vulnerable. I'll be sharing things I don't normally share. So please subscribe so that you can get in on the founding members of this new Midlife with Courage Unfiltered. I'll see you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like the to me, from my view from the outside, is it's like the
Mm.
basis of everything that you
Oh,
do, and how can you
yeah.
not bring it into this too?
It hopefully is a natural outpouring, yes,
Yeah.
of I think the challenge in our world is that image has been so distorted. And
Yes.
I'm kind of coming up against a lot of stuff, and women are too. And I really just want to help encourage and embolden, like you are doing, women to just be who they are. They are absolutely a unique creation, divinely designed. I call them designer originals, and, you know, the being yourself, a lot of people use the word authentic. I looked up that word. It's genuine. It's real. It's original. And the more you can be like that, I'm got goosebumps right now.
Me
I'm
too.
not about myself, but I'm like, yeah, good. The more you can be you, like that's attractive and people are drawn to just who you are.
Yeah.
And it's so much work trying to be even a little bit like somebody else, you know?
It's that it's exhausting, isn't it?
Mhm,
Because if we look
mhm,
at all these outside, I call it outside forces telling us we need to
mhm,
look younger, we need to do this, we need to do that, or
mhm.
just stop. I'm
Yeah,
already good enough,
that's
and
right.
I'm more than good enough. I'm awesome. So
Wonderful.
I
Mhm.
love that you are helping women with that
Thank you.
message because we don't hear that very
No,
often. Hopefully more
no.
now, but
Yes.
yeah. So
And
did
good
you
for you too for spreading the word.
I'm
Just getting it
trying,
out there.
I'm doing my
Yeah.
best. So did you always have an interest in fashion?
So funny. Okay. I did like clothes. Even a little girl, I got a gift in of a shoe, and I did,
Just
but
one
I
shoe?
kind of like well, shoes. I meant to say a pair of shoes I got, and I
Just
love
kidding.
dressing up at my yeah, sorry. Well, mix and match, I don't know. No,
Yeah,
so my grandma, we'd play dress up at her house with my I have 2 sisters and my
you-
cousin, and so we just enjoyed play clothes. I felt though as I got older, oh, that's doesn't matter. That's just, oh, that's so minor. I was gonna get educated and, and I did, whatever, but, you just need to strive for other things, and I kinda neglected that natural part of me, like it was a bad thing or something, some message I had.
Mhm,
But it's not even necessarily fashion, but I like style and just helping develop other people's style. And the idea of fashion too is just, it's fun. Like trends, they're kind of add a little excitement, a little zip, but we don't want to overdo them. We don't want to look like we're trying to, we just want little nuances of that part. So, but it's just
mhm.
this unique avenue I'm working in. I never anticipated
Wow.
doing it. So, yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. And like I said, again, you help other women through this, and that's amazing. So, how do you do that? Like, where would you start with someone who wants to change their style or maybe work on their style? Where do you start with a woman who's interested in that?
Well, first of all, I'm excited when women are interested in making any kind of change of that nature. And also, I want women who do want that. So I'm not the kind of person who's going to pressure anybody into doing this. It doesn't work. You have to be ready and want to, and it takes a little work. People think that style is just easy and effortless and just to be chic. And no, it takes it does take effort. It does take work and an understanding. And so I love to teach the rules, if you will, so that people can break them if they want. There may be a color that looks amazing on you, but you don't like it. You don't need to wear it. And so I guess starting out, uh, different women have different needs. So I love chatting with women briefly to kind of just get to know them. They can get to know me a little bit.
Mhm,
And we'd start typically with color analysis, which is super fun,
mhm,
which is kind of how I got into this is just I had no idea that this even existed back when I was younger. And so it really just changed how I looked and how I felt about myself by just brightening up my face and not wearing black because I thought it made me look thinner because it's not always everybody's best friend. There can be other nicer, somewhat darker colors that work better for different types of people, depending on your hair color, your skin color, your eye color.
sure.
So then we would typically my proven process, if you will, the way that has worked for me, and I've tried doing it other ways, but typically we would then venture into the style category and learning how to dress for our body shape, depending on where we gain weight and some other things.
Mhm,
So considering what necklines might look the best on you, what sleeve lines, the length of your torso, maybe what kind of skirt line, hemline for your pants, etc. So different ways to dress, layering, and different. Well, we do start with foundations. We don't need to talk a lot about bras here today, but I will say everybody should get fitted at least one time a year.
mm.
And if that's hard to remember, you could do it when you go to the dentist or whatever, every 6 months, which
Oh,
is a lot, but
yeah.
once a year is great. So just those foundation pieces, even before we get dressed. And like even today, I've got on not just a regular old cami underneath me. That's fine. Camis are great for layering, especially if you're, maybe more well endowed. But having a fitted cami around your middle. is another example where when you're
Mhm.
gaining weight in that area, a little more snug, you feel a little more literally put together,
Yeah.
and it helps you look better in your clothes. Those foundations do. So then, not only do we talk about the foundations and the clothing styles, but we can get into accessorizing, to your scale.
Mhm.
And then we can kind of delve into style. Then beyond that, we do closet cleaning out first, typically, and then decluttering.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then we get all organized, and we then can go shopping with, a little more knowledge, a little less distraction with all the things, knowing what we need. And beyond that, everybody has different needs. So sometimes I can jump in different places
Mm.
with people in terms of what they want and even what's in their budget and their
Yeah.
desire. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It
Mm.
sounds like an all-encompassing help.
Yes.
It's not just, "Oh, what clothes look good on you?" It's, "Okay, let's look at what you have, what we need to maybe move out of the way and make space for more," as we've talked
Yeah, I
about.
love it. Yes. And just
Yeah,
some of the whys behind why you might pull something out
yeah,
or why you don't want to pull something out. And how are you going to select based on your lifestyle what you're going to put in? Like, do you have time to go shopping? Do you have energy to go shopping? Do you prefer to shop here and there or all at once? So, analyzing a little bit more before we're just tossing stuff away. I like to
sure.
teach
So tell me
and
more about
encourage.
that. What would be like an example of someone deciding whether they're going to throw something out?
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's a huge question, but
No, I mean, I love your questions because I do think you're the question queen, and I'm a processor, so it's I think I really do try to honor where people are at, but to toss in general, you want to do those quick and easy ones.
Hmm,
So things that have holes in them, that are worn, things that maybe are really a lot of work to clean. Things that you have duplicates of. So, three black shirts, take a look at the necklines, take a look at the armpits. What's the integrity? And decide maybe from there
hmm,
which one you're going to get rid of first or which two. Other things might be not even touching those clothes at first if this is daunting to you. Start by clearing out those metal hangers that are somewhat of a nuisance, in my opinion,
hmm.
and donate those to the cleaners. They love taking them back. It's great to recycle, just little baby steps sometimes rather than, oh, let's go a complete all day overhaul, which I do and have done. But sometimes, depending on your personality, again, I try to honor that
Mhm.
as far as how we get rid of things. Because sometimes we have to talk through a couple things.
Yeah.
They're an emotional place sometimes, that closet of ours.
Yeah, for sure, and I'm just thinking of my own closet, and I've got some things in there that I've saved from weddings and long, long
Yeah.
time ago, and,
Mhm.
it's I don't even think about them until I'm actually looking at them, so why do I hold on to them? You know?
There's memories.
Memories,
It's
yeah.
not bad. We don't have to get rid of everything.
Yeah,
Maybe some of those go in a nostalgia box or
yeah,
something, depending on the kind of memory it stirs up.
yeah.
Sometimes it's helpful to just be done with some of those memories.
Yes, for sure. Some of them we don't need anymore. I just love that you help women just feel so much more confident in themselves through everything
Thank
that
you.
you do. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, so if you could give us let's do this. If you could give us one styling tip for a woman over 40, 50, the people listening right now, what would be one styling tip you could give us?
Okay, well, besides color, which I love,
Yes.
that's good. Okay, there's that. And we talked about foundations, so there's that.
Yeah.
I do think wearing patterned tops, if you're self conscious about your middle, is a
Mhm.
great way to distract the eye and it moves
Oh.
around. It doesn't hone in on either if you have a larger belly or even if your bust line, you're like maybe self conscious in some cases. It just doesn't focus in on those areas. So you feel a little freer just wearing a patterned top that doesn't cling. That's a decent quality fabric and
Mm.
in your best color. So those are kind of multiple tips, but
That's okay.
yeah, I like that one. I like that one a lot.
That would not have occurred to me, but when I think
Mm.
about it, yeah, when I wear a solid color and it's a little clingy, you can see the little muffin top or the big muffin top, whatever it happens to be. Okay, so a pattern. Okay, yeah, I could
And Kim, think about what patterns you like that like you back. So think about what you like, number one,
Hmm.
but think about how the pattern works with the natural curves in your body or even with the neckline. Maybe either follow your neckline with that curvature or
Hmm.
sometimes a square, or V necks can be slimming because they just draw the
Oh,
eye
sure.
to the
Push it
middle
down.
and down.
Yeah. Oh,
So just really, women need to think about how God made them and work with what you've been given. And you'd be surprising what you can come up with when you actually
yeah.
study yourself and not in a super vain way. Just we need to study ourselves inside and out, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. I go a lot on my intuition and how I feel about something. So that's a lot of, I guess I haven't applied that to clothes yet, but because I don't go
Ah,
shopping very often, I'm not a big shopper, but I
sure.
think I'm going to do that the next time I need to wear something or need to buy something. I'm going to go, how does this feel? How does it look? Okay, it looks great.
Yes.
How do I feel? Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah. Yes. I totally 100% agree. And you use the word feel, not just in terms of how do I overall feel, but how does that texture feel on my body? Is it
Ah,
rough? Is it bothering me? Because I feel like we're so overstimulated in this culture and we just need some relaxing sensory kind to our senses
yes.
fabrics or
Yes.
whatever that is for you. So think about
Yeah.
how you literally feel in your
Yeah.
clothes. Yeah.
That's so funny you say that because when I go into a store and I'm looking, I'm always touching. Like I have to
Ah,
touch the material. So I think I do that anyway.
yep.
So
Good.
yay.
Keep doing it. You'll feel better in your
You'll
clothes
feel better. Yeah. I
and
love
look
it.
better too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Sarah, where could people find you if they wanted to work with you or learn more?
Well, I love chatting with people, and you can chat with me for free for 15 minutes over the phone. And you can find out about that link on my website, which is www.purposelyfashioned.com. That's PURPOSELYFASHIONED.com. Purposely Fashioned. I'm not super active on social media. I tend to think it's more does more detriment than good. So I've just chosen to really just connect with people one on one because I think the one person matters. I just really want women to feel that I see them and I want to know them and they can talk to me and it doesn't have to go anywhere. I'm happy to give tips and things, or I would love to work with you. Yeah, whatever works.
Love it. And I can attest, she is an amazing person and you
Thanks.
need to talk to
Oh, thank
her.
you. Thank you.
Awesome. You're
Appreciate that.
welcome. Before we say goodbye, is there any one last little, I know you gave a styling tip earlier, but maybe you want to share something more about midlife women. Is there any one tip that you would share? Another one. You've given us so many already, but
Oh, boy. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, what came into my head, and we do need to, watch what we think, but this is going to sound very unusual. However, I grew up in a family where my dad was an undertaker, and
oh,
that's a very interesting life. So as you can imagine, I feel like death has been a large part of what I grew up around and what I've thought about. And so for you midlife women, if you've never thought of this, your life, and I mean this, and it's positive, like your life is more than half over. We don't know how long we have, but we're given 70 to 80 years. We don't know. But so living your one life today, we have to live present and embracing each day. And sometimes our dress gets in the way of us getting up, getting out, and getting going out there. Not that you even have to be getting going anywhere, but just to be encouraged and excited about the future. Even though we've lived most of our lives, a lot can be done in this time and you can enjoy things more looking at the perspective of, I know this sounds so funny, but this is my life. I've thought about this a lot, just the perspective of there's just a little more time left to enjoy our lives.
it's a great reminder. And I know it's not, yeah, I get it. I get why it's like, okay, this is going to sound weird, but I love it. It's such a great
Okay.
reminder. So
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
Sarah, this has been so amazing. I'm so glad that we were
You.
able to do this. And thank you so much.
And Kim, I'm honored to be on the other side here with you. It's a joy and it's so easy. And thank you for letting me be able to share. This is part of my beauty that I get to give the world. and you are allowing other women to share their beauty too. And this is what I would love too, is just for women to share who they are with the world. So keep it up.
Love it. You too. All right.
I will. Thank you.
We'll talk to you
Okay,
soon.
thanks.
You've been listening to Midlife with Courage. If you liked what you heard, I would love it if you would leave a review. Or even better, send a link of this episode to a friend. And now don't forget, if you want to go a little bit deeper into more personal topics and more personal conversations with me, don't forget that you can subscribe to Midlife with Courage Unfiltered. You can find it in the show notes under Support the Show. Take care of your beautiful self, and I'll talk to you soon.